Yeah, so like I'm gonna teach you a little bit like how I was teaching Savannah, but I'm gonna go a bit more in depth because you're a more advanced player.
Mm.
So by doing this, this also helps me too because it helps me remember what I started from.
Right.
So I go as you go. Does that make sense? So I improve as you do.
Yeah, kind of like going back to the basics and remembering everything that brought you up in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know if it's gonna be hard on you now, but I'm gonna see. So you're on One Piece side, right?
Mm-hmm.
By the way, do you have a weak side?
Okay, this might sound odd, but I have weaknesses on both. And for the left side, my electrics and crouch dash motions might be uh, kind of weakened, but my
Okay.
movement and kind of like my, I guess my like kind of this stuff
Yeah.
is kind of improved. But when I'm on the, I'll duck real quick and hit forward. Hit forward. Okay. So when on this side, it's like my on the One Piece side, my electrics are more placed. They're more placed correctly.
Uh-huh.
But on Two Piece side, I kind of throw them out more sloppily, if you know what I mean. And then I'll fail the dash electric a lot.
Oh, okay. So this is what I'm gonna be teaching you then is how the core idea of how to do it. So you know when you tap forward,
Right.
you have all the time in the world to input the electric. See how I'm delaying it as much as I possibly can?
Yeah.
It's when I get that down to down forward motion and I hit two at the same time. So what I want you to do is I want you to start practicing getting that motion down. Is that when you're hitting, you know that you hit down forward and two at the same time. So you see how I'm able to do that? Like I can take forever. So it's not that it's a just frame, it's that you need to hit two buttons simultaneously. Um, I can't say that I'm the best Mishima player, but I'm very familiar with Devil Jin
Right.
enough to know how this character
So
works
you're
to a
saying I
degree.
could double forward and do this?
Yeah, you can double forward and take your time with the electric as long as you don't miss the window for the down forward part. So you could be like this. You can go ahead and dash forward and then just like do that. It's harder to do it like that, but you can do an electric out like that.
I
Just I'm
see.
really bad at doing it. Yeah. So because that separates so like a player like Ryan Hart knows how to do that correctly, you know.
Uh,
So it's like when you get to that degree, um, you you can pretty much manipulate electrics the way you want them, no matter where you are. So we're gonna start on this side where you're at, which is the One Piece side you're on right now, right?
mhm.
We'll start on that side, then we'll work on Two Piece side. Um, how is your wave dash exactly?
Uh, I guess the initially like when I initiate it, it's strong, but the more I do it, the weaker it gets.
Okay, so you don't have rhythm down.
Right.
I'm gonna have to teach you that trick too. So there's a beat to it. Have you ever played Lee?
Have I ever played Lee? No.
Okay. So the key with characters that have movement buffs, such as like a wave dash, every character's that has a wave dash has a different. It's a different timing. Um, Devil Jin, his beat is like um, Depending on how fast you really want it. I mean, as a Devil Jin player, you want to be light dashing as much as possible. So, I'm gonna go ahead and kind of teach you that rhythm. Um, I'll probably be video recording my hand to kind of show you. You don't play on stick, right?
No, but I
Okay.
wanted to upgrade to stick because I heard it's uh good to
Yeah,
get into it
it's
when you're playing
better.
Mishimos.
Yeah, if you're playing Mishimas, Korean stick is good to start with. Like that's like the prime for Mishimas is always go K stick for them. Um, if if you feel that you're gonna be a Japanese stick player, then you know that still works too. Uh, but like, see how my wave dash is.
Hmm.
So there's a beat to it when you press forward to down, forward to down, forward. You know, you have to break it down. Do it slow first, and then just start kind of upping your tempo a little bit. So do it slow first. So I want you to tap forward, and then just kind of repeat that motion and make sure you have it like down properly. You know, because we're gonna do an exercise where you're gonna be changing the pace of your wave dash, where it's slow or to where it's really fast. You know, during that. Make sense?
Yeah.
So I want you to kind of get used to that. I'm only giving you the idea of doing it now because tomorrow I do want to spend time to start going over to start the stuff that we need to be going over. So
Right.
um so that's one part that we're gonna be working on. How was your backdash?
Like same thing, solid at the beginning, but it gets weaker the more I do it.
Okay, it's the same concept as the wave dash. Only you are hitting the correct motion or the notation for it is back, back, down, back, back. So the how to
Down,
get this is that
down,
you
back.
tap back, back, hit down, back, and then back. So kind of like switching your thumb back and forth between back and then down back. So when you find your down back, you can
Well,
start doing that.
I usually, because I'm not strong at backdashing with Devil Jin with his like crouch dash motion, what I
Uh-huh.
do is I'll do back, back, down, back, back, down, back, back, down over and over again.
Oh, that's and kind of an older way. Um, there's a cheater way where you can do this. You can do quarter circle back after back back and then tap back again. That's like a cheater way of doing it, but the result for the result for doing this version, for doing the for doing that, is that you're able to block lows while backdashing at the same time. Because when you do that, you're able to duck.
Right.
Make sense? So we're gonna get you to do that correct motion.
With the quarter circle?
No, we're gonna get you to do the 100% correct version, which is the down back version. So that way, you will never be hit by these or these. How much frame knowledge do you know?
I'd say I have a fair knowledge of it, not entirely brushed
Okay,
up.
give me a summarized version of the frame data chart that you know, and let me know like how you would use it in a situation, and then I will give you my take and see if our ideology is the same.
Okay. So, for example, I see a move that.
Here, we're gonna do it in game so that way you can you have a better way of explaining it.
Uh,
So let me pull out Tekken Chicken for this.
oh, you have that up too?
Yeah, so this would probably be a really good idea. Because I'm gonna explain the spectrum to you,
Right.
piece by piece. Okay. Alrighty. So I want you to give me your version, and I will see if it's very similar to mine.
Okay.
So alrighty. Hopefully, when this loading screen happens, Jesus.
Just a disclaimer. I have work really early in the morning, so at 2 o'clock my time, I should probably hit the hay, and then
Oh
we
yeah,
can.
I mean like after this, like we're pretty much done with the because again I don't want to overwhelm you. So after this we're pretty much done.
Okay.
So go ahead and explain.
All right. So generally, I guess if I see somebody like throw out a move that's obviously minus frames, usually
So like this for example.
yeah, I'll try to respond with 112 as best as I can. Or if someone fails a launcher, I might try to respond with an electric, which I fail often because on reaction, it's hard for me to do that, you know.
Okay.
Um, I launch, or I'll do a wall standing too if someone usually blocks the low, or if I block a low or something. Like
Okay.
if Delgin did his hell sweep on me and I blocked it, I'd probably respond this way because I know that puts him in negative frames. I'll do this, which puts me in positive, so that's why I don't worry about putting a down forward one after that, or
Okay.
grabbing like this,
Right.
because I know for a fact that that move will hit before they get a chance to retaliate. You know, unless they do like a one, which I guess I doubt some players will do if they're not in a high level, I suppose. And
Okay.
I know there are a lot of safe moves for Devil Jin, like forward 4-2, forward 4-4, back 4, the electric, up forward 3. This by itself is not safe. 1 is safe, which puts me at +1. So I actually jab and grab a lot.
Okay.
Because that +1, you know, puts me in a little comfort zone.
Okay.
But usually after like double forward, because I know the second one puts me at a slight frame disadvantage, still safe, but I don't move after this too much unless I'll do like some sort of evasive move, like so, you know. Nope, my bad. Like this, because I know like they can only respond with a jab after that to hit me if I do this. And I think that pretty much sums it up. I know that negative puts you disadvantaged to the point where you can't block the next thing I do. Well, depending on how many frames I come at you with, putting me on plus allows for opportunities for me to continue my offense, or kind of bait out something they do. Like I'll do no 4-4 and someone decides to like sidestep launch it or something. I'll try to bait that out. You know, I guess that's my take on it.
Alright, so it seems like you have a good idea of the way plus frames work. It's very basic, so I'm going to go ahead and run you through the spectrum real quick. I'm gonna give you a basic outlook.
Well, I mean, don't worry. If you want to explain it a little more, don't worry about it. We still have a good half hour for it.
Yeah, I just don't want to be rude and keep you from sleeping because I mean work is very important.
No, I usually sleep at 2 o'clock, and we have a while for it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're 2 hours ahead of time from me because right now it's 11:42.
I see.
For me, so is that correct, or are you just an hour?
I'm at 1:42 p.m. a.m. My bad.
Okay, so you are 2 hours ahead of me. Okay. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and start explaining the way the frame grid works. So think of there's like a line. Do you remember in school where they would show you like a spectrum or like a line had two arrows at the side and it would have 0 in the middle?
Right.
Okay. So that grid is what applies here. So how this works is that you both start at 0, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing's happening. The game runs at 60 frames per second. Every move that you do fills in that gap. So, for example, if I were to do 1-1 and you were to block it, I'm -1. So what that means is my next move, so this is 10 for example, so if I follow up immediately after doing that, my jab is technically coming out at 11 frames, while your next move is coming out at 9 frames. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So let's go ahead
because
and test
it
this
takes
theory
you.
out.
Oh, because it takes you that extra frame to recover. So
Exactly.
if I were
So
to
walk
just
forward.
continuously jab 1-1 like this, every jab after this, after the second two, would come out at 11.
Yes. So, for example, if I were to do 1-1 and then jab immediately afterwards,
Right.
see how I beat you out?
Yeah.
So, because my jab is coming out 1 frame faster than you, it's always going to beat you out. Now, this is how the frame spectrum works. So, let's say, for example, we're plus. So let's say I hit you with this, right? So walk forward and get hit. So now I'm +8. Now, what that means is that the next move that comes out that I do, because I hit you with it, it is now plus, so it gets frames deducted from what's going on. So, for example, if I were to do 1-1 on hit, and immediately right afterwards you would hit a button,
Right.
so it would be like this. I would do 1-1, I would do down forward 2. There's nothing you could do to beat that out because it's +8. So if you subtract 15, or if you subtract 8 from 15, that is the value you get and how fast your down forward 2 is coming out.
Right.
Does that make sense?
It does.
Now, there are moves that specifically put you negative for a reason. So that makes stuff happen. So, for example, let's go ahead and find a move that's going to do that. Where are you? Okay, so this is perfect. I'm gonna do this, right? You're gonna block this. I'm gonna do down 1. You're gonna try to attack me, okay? So after this, attack me. So this is what's called using your negative frames to your advantage, because your opponent is impatient.
Right.
So any time you you feel that you're going to be attacked, you have certain tool sets that allow you to keep you safe for a reason. So this is -4. Your attack, your what's it called? Your 1-1 is 10 frames. So my next move is being added 4 frames, right? So what is back 2 plus 4? I believe it's a 2-frame parry. So this is only being, yeah, this is 2 frames. So it has instant activation, which is a good thing. So if I were to do this, now you know that this is a good...
I messed up the back.
So now that you know that this is a good option after this, you know, you can start using that to your advantage for people that like to hit buttons. Does that make sense? Every move has has a tool that leads up into that, you know, and it's the same thing with this move. So, for example, if I were to do this and you were to jab me, I believe that works. So, hold on. Yeah, see how you got crushed?
Yeah.
Sorry. So I'm at the right negative frames in order to get the crush off of this. So that's learning how to manipulate the grid. Now, in a movement setting is something I have to really go in depth with you. So I prefer to do it another time.
Right.
So probably tomorrow when you're free. Probably just go over it for about an hour. And then when you have time for yourself, like just to head to practice. See, one thing that I have to really put on you is that going into practice mode and just moving around, practicing your combos, your execution, that is what keeps you sharp in this game. I will tell you that at one point in time in my life, 8 hours a day is like I completely just kept playing the game for about like a few years until I started to see results. You know, but luckily for you, because you're a smart kid, you know, like you know what's going on, you know, like, so it's you're more I have to say my generation was harder to learn than what I'm teaching you now, so it's good that your brain is like a sponge compared to what mine was, which was a piece of mush. So with that, you have to take advantage of that. I guess having your youth, so that way, you know, the more you practice, the more better you get, the more you start to understand, the more you start to realize what your opponent is doing and stuff like that. Like right now, I cannot go over the psychological factor with you because we're not at that stage yet. Like right now, I want you to be ready to move. Like I want you to freely feel like you can do anything without like having any problems. Does that make sense?
Right, you mean
like
my
I don't
wrist.
want you to be scared to use something.
Oh,
you know?
no, I know what you mean. So, for example, like a sidestep 2.
Yeah, like for example, like you can do a running 2 on command without any problems. Like you can do an electric punish on command, no problems. Does that make sense? Like I want you to start doing stuff like that.
Right. So
like,
if you call out electric, the electric would just come out like forward, forward, forward,
yeah,
3.
you don't even have to worry about. Yeah, like a command stick. You press one button and it comes out. Only it's your brain that's interpreting that to your body.
Right.
Make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So, tomorrow I will message you when you have the chance. If you're not able to, it's okay. It happens. Just realize we'll get you there. I really want you to win a major. Let's start you. I want your goal to be you get out of pools at Evo. That's like the hardest thing to get through is the pools. That's like the hardest part. At Summer Jam or Fall Classic, I mean, pick whichever one you want, you know. They're both very, very close to where you're living at right now. I want you to win at least one of those, and if not, it's okay. Making top 8 is just as good, you know. Just make sure you don't settle, so that way, you know, like don't let your drive burn out. Like you want it to always stay there. Make sense? Let's see. You love playing Devil Jin, right?
Yeah, but I also love playing other characters as well. I mean,
okay.
The only problem is that I play Devil Jin. Yeah, I love playing Devil Jin. If I play him a lot, it becomes a problem.
Like I'm saying, like you can play him through a whole tournament without switching a character, right?
Maybe not. Kind of
okay.
like
then that means I have to teach you what I was taught then. So I'm gonna teach you how to fundamentally learn how to play this game and learn how to pick up characters within 30 minutes.
Right. The reason being that it's hard for me to play a very long time with Devil Jin is because I'll start to do patterns.
Okay,
like I'll start
so
to fight in a habitual way.
Okay, so then we have to teach you how to get you off of autopilot. That means you have an autopilot problem.
Right.
And that you're not. See, the thing with the with when you play a character is that when you're playing inside the game, you're not only thinking of using stuff that's never been seen, but you're also thinking to yourself, like, okay, um, what can I do in this situation that he keeps putting me in order to punish him or to get out of it? If I'm stuck in said situation, what can I do? Blah, 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 blah. You have to keep asking yourself questions to keep, to start getting somewhere. Because once you answer one of them, that means you start to win. Make sense?
Right.
Okay. So we're going to go ahead and teach you that, because that means that you have an adapting problem too. And to be honest, that's not an easy one to get over, but I know how to get over it very quickly with you, because again, your brain is like a sponge, so that's what's really the benefiting part about this. But all right, man. I mean, like that's pretty much it for right now. Again, if I say too much more, I'm gonna overload your brain. Trust me, it happens to everybody. I had one guy's fucking head damn near explode. His eyeballs popping out and everything. But yeah, man, we'll get you there. Hopefully, you said in a few weeks. Let's see your Genbu right now. Do you know how many games you won last as a Genbu? Or did you just promote and then stop playing?
I promoted it and then I stopped.
Okay, so that means you're at 0. That makes sense. That means you need a total of 4 to 5 points to promote. It's not too bad. So, what day is it today? You said a few weeks. So let's try. What day is it? September 10th. Let's try for October 10th. Like somewhere where you have like a good amount of time. Like around in October, like early October, that you start playing ranked again, because by then you should be ready to be promoting off of just anybody at that point. So we can go ahead and do that. I know just the guy you can deathmatch too. Actually, I know a few now. I'll go ahead and get those set up for you when the time comes. They're tournament players, they're good players. Getting you to beat those kind of people, understand that if you demote, it's a wake-up call. It means you need to be working really hard to get it back. So the one thing I've learned over the years is that the more you play people that are twice as better than you, or if not 30 times better than you, that starts to rub off on you, and you start playing really good because they give you ideas. So I'm telling you right now, the more you play me, the more you'll start to get where I'm at, and if not, become better than where I'm at. Because that's the goal, is that you surpass me, you get your number 1 spot, and then you become a top ranked player on the planet. Because I'll tell you right now, for being the 16th best Leo on the planet, it took a lot of time to get there. For being the 8th best Gigas on the planet, that's really nice to hear. And it's the same thing for Claudio, being the 24th best Claudio on the planet. That takes up quite a bit of time. So we want to work at you like one at a time. So we want you on those Devil Jin leaderboards for tournament play, so that way they know who to look for. So the next time you go to a major tournament, they hand out a pamphlet, and it shows a list of players on who to watch. I want your name to be on that list. Mine was this year for Evo. And so was a couple of my other friends that play. So it's like, I want your name to be on there now. So we're gonna get you to that point too. Do you have any questions or anything you need me to clarify or go over again?
No, I think I've pretty much got everything you said.
Okay, cool.
In terms of all that stuff about tournaments, or just the stuff you were showing me?
Just anything in general, to be honest.
No, not really. I feel like the way my brain is working right now, I'm just kind of like, ooh, there's more to learn, you know? Like,
yeah.
ooh, there's more stuff I didn't know, or there's more I could be doing. And
yeah, it's a long process and a long line of learning how to do stuff. And like the more you get into it, the more you start to be like, you know, like you were saying, ooh, you know, there's more to learn, and then you'll find out that it's you're barely scratching the surface right now. Like this is just like nothing compared to what I've been shown, you know. And then when you get to that point to where I get to show you the big stuff, you know, that's when all the good stuff starts happening, and then you start to, you know, you're able to adventure on by yourself because you know how to do it now. Make sense?
It does.
Yeah, because like I'll be honest, I didn't know how to do practice mode. I didn't know there was a method of doing practice mode until I met Just Rain James. You know, so when he showed me that there is a method to do practice mode and to find things, like I have a notebook in my closet that's got a shit ton of pages in it, and I'm when I say shit ton, I'm talking about hundreds. That lists Leo stuff, like everything about Leo. Leo's bad matchups, Leo's good matchups. This was in Tekken 6.
Heck, whoa.
You know, yeah, like I had the notebook on how to play that character because of how passionate I was about it, you know. But because he showed me how much stuff you could find just by doing simple things, was how much knowledge I got into writing into those notes, you know.
Right.
So it's like the same thing is, you know, most likely going to happen to you. Like you said, you wanted to record so that way you can remember, you know, you probably make video logs, which is very smart because I wish I had that luxury, to be honest, back then.
I take a lot of my rank sessions and stuff like that, player matches, and I actually have a YouTube account. I don't do it for like subscribers or anything. I do it just so I can go back and watch. Even other games as well, kind of like I like to look back and remember the stuff I was playing. But I do it for Tekken especially because I like to look back and look at the way I was fighting, or like what sort of mistakes I was doing. Because I have like Heihachi sessions to go to Juggernaut or Devil Jin to Destroyer. Recently I didn't record to Genbu because the servers were so wonky and I was afraid of live streaming it. But yeah, I have a lot of videos of that kind of stuff. I think I have over like 40, 60 Tekken well, in total I have like 67 videos, but not all of them are Tekken. Most of them are though.
Okay. See, that's really good. Reviewing your matches is also another really good thing, because you not only figure out player habits, but you figure out your own habits that cause you to fall for other player habits. That makes sense.
It does.
So it teaches you not to rely on certain things as well as rely on other things in order to get somewhere. So alright, man, you know, get some rest, you know, hit me up tomorrow. I'll be on. And we are gonna go over the basics tomorrow for movement, and movement is gonna last a good minute. So once you get over that hump, then we go on to the next, you know, because I will not stop until you have something down to a science, if that makes sense. Because that means if you're not ready to go on yet, because you're not able to do something, then that means that you need to be working on it a bit more. So
to be honest, at this point in time, the way I kind of see it, I'm deathly afraid of going back into ranked and promoting to Byakko.
No, it's. I mean, to be honest, you know what? It happens. You know, one thing I'm going to teach you is that you I'm going to teach you to be fearless, along as putting fear into others, so that way you don't have that problem. Because when I go into ranked, I don't like the minute I see somebody, it's like to the point to where it's like the minute they see my screen name is the minute they start. They're like, oh shit, you know. We need the same thing for that. You know, they're tilted because they're fighting me. You know, I've had people come up to me and say that, you know, like, man, I really don't want to play you, and you know, it's like in tournaments, you know. So we need to get that to you too. Like people are afraid to fight you because of the kind of gravitational field that you have around you is just like weighing them down. Right. So I'll teach you how to do that too. But that's going to be a bit later on because that has to do with psychological stuff that I have to show you personally.
Yeah. Again, just the disclaimer. I'm going to take my PS4 to Ecuador. I might not have the very solid internet connection, but before I leave,
I'll share play. I think that would be smarter. So while you're in Ecuador, yeah, I will be doing a share play session with you. So I will be doing demonstration videos. So like for example, when I share play, I will be saying like I will be listing this, this, and this. This is what you do. This is how you do it. Is there any questions? And then we'll go to the next thing. Does that make sense?
Right. But I'm at the same time, I'm kind of preparing myself for no connection, just in case, because I know I was doing research and their highest bandwidth is like 5 megabits a second. I'm like,
okay.
So in a sense, I'm kind of preparing myself to have the shittiest connection this Earth has ever witnessed for 3 months. But
okay,
in a sense, before that, I'll definitely like write stuff down in a notebook to like practice offline or something like that. And then when I come back,
I can do this for you. Well, I'll make a private YouTube page. I'll upload videos, and I'll have you watch them. They'll be like tutorials on how to do stuff. So it'll all be going over and over and stuff. And then, you know, you just message me saying, hey, you know, can you explain this? You know, I didn't get this. If you didn't get it, you know, or like, hey, okay, I understand this. You can move on to the next one. Does that make sense?
Right.
So I can do that for you. Well, all right then, man. You get some rest. I'm gonna probably head back to training mode and seeing what I can do there. But man, I can't. Man, you threw me in for a loop. I did not know that you were engaged. Holy shit.
Well, it's not necessarily engaged, like I said. I guess I call her that, but because it's sort of like it's been promised between us both, I suppose.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, there's no ring or anything yet, but that's, I guess, the reason I'm going down there, to actually see if it's going to happen. I won't come back married, but kind of like when I do come back, that might be what I focused.
Here, I'll ask you this: like, how does she feel about you?
In terms of,
like, you know, like man, you know, like is she excited? You know, is she like, has she already told you how she felt about you? You know, because I'll tell you something right now. A distance relationship is very hard.
It is.
Yeah. So I'm sure you're going through a lot of you're going through a lot of hardships. You know.
Well, I'll tell you something. She lives in Venezuela. At this point in time. But
Caracas?
If you know anything, no, in Táchira, but San Cristobal. But if you don't know anything about Venezuela, it's kind of like a war zone right now. And she's actually sent me videos and stuff of like shit just blowing up on the streets.
Oh man, that's rough.
And I'm actually paying for her flight to leave and go to Ecuador. And her cell phone busted a while ago, and we haven't been able to talk since. But it's kind of like,
Oh.
it's kind of like,
So you haven't been in contact with her at all
for at
like,
least 2 months. But actually,
Holy.
no. About a month and like a week.
Oh man. So right now, I mean, do you know where she's at?
I know where she's at right now. She's still in Venezuela. She's finishing up her college and stuff. She's studying to become a lawyer.
Oh, okay. Holy crap. I mean, are you going to be bringing her to the U.S. if
At
things
some
get
point,
actually?
if I
Oh,
do
okay.
decide to actually go through with it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, lawyer's a tough job.
I'm
Tough
sure it
job.
is.
I'm telling you, like people hate lawyers. I mean, they have their reasons, but I mean it's good income for the both of you if things end up working out. If not, then I mean, it happens.
Right.
Um, but man, I honestly wish the best of luck to you. Holy crap.
It's
I
not.
don't know,
It's
to
not
be
something
honest.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, no, oh no, no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's honestly not something I think about all that much. It's kind of like, well, I guess this is where we're at in sort of that. It's kind of like it is a promise, but it's sort of like a promise that if I do see her and we both feel good about it, then it's going to happen. No other thing needs to be said, you know.
Okay. Oh man, you're taking a big man. It sounds like a book.
I've
Something that's
I've gotten that before.
coming out of the book. Yeah, you just that's quite a leap you're taking, man. I give you props for it. I honestly do hope like things work out the way you want them to, and if not, I mean, it happens. The main thing is that one thing with people that have distant relationships is that they don't find the other person there, and that's like the tough one. So I honestly wish you the best of luck with that. 'Cause, that's honestly that's the biggest one I feel.
Right.
Like, man. But anyway, man, you have a good night. We'll go over some more stuff tomorrow. That's pretty much about it, man.
Yeah, it sounds good. I'll probably be back at my time around. Well, I get off at work at 5, but going to the gym,
So
showering, eating, blah 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 blah. That will probably take
3
me
o'clock
up to
my
like
time.
like 7, 8 my time.
Okay.
So that's like 6, 5 your time, and then we can go for 1, 2 hours at a time.
Yeah,
I
that
don't mind
sounds
doing
good,
that.
man. Yeah, again, don't want to overload your brain. Just want to make sure that you manage to have it all sink in and you're all good.
Right. I actually have a mini tournament on Wednesday. It's kind of funny.
Oh, really?
It's online, but it's kind of like I was just randomly invited to it by someone on my friends list. I didn't know he was the admin of some sort of group or something, and I was invited to it, and it was just like oh, there's gonna be a tournament, like a little online tournament held. Each week there'll be a winner, and at the end of the month, all 4 of you will face each other in a tournament, and then we'll see who the winner is or whatever kind of thing. I honestly don't expect much from it. Like, I don't expect to fight any crazy people in it or anything like that. And I kind of am reluctant to join because, again, I am Genbu and I might be fighting like marauders and shit, so I don't want to go in and just wreck shit. And
No, don't ever feel like that. You beat the shit out of whoever you need to. One thing that you will have to learn is that you don't let anybody get in your way, because the minute that you let someone step all over you is the minute that your career goes down the drain.
Damn.
Yeah,
And
I
also,
hate to say that, but along with keeping it sportsmanlike, you also have to be a savage, pretty much.
right. And also, along with that, okay, I also have like this issue where I get not upset, but it's like it irritates me very easily when I go into player match sessions or something, and because I still do lose, I'm not invincible because I'm a Genbu or anything like that. So I'll still lose to your typical like Juggernauts or Vindicators and stuff like that, and like it aggravates me. They'll like talk a lot on the chat and stuff and say, "Oh, I just beat a Genbu, fake Genbu and stuff like that. Oh, I'm a booster or something."
That's like,
you know,
that's what feeds you, because they have the nerve to say that, because they can't get there themselves. So it's one thing you have to realize is that when someone says that, and they think that Genbu is their, or they think a red rank is their like final destination, that's when you have to you pity them, because it's like, you know what, you stop there while I'm going higher. So it's like, well, I mean, you know, people have small dreams, but you know, I have the world at my hands. So I mean, the way I look at it, because you know, some people do that to me too, like they're like, oh, I just played you and stuff like that, and you know, it'll be like a 3-bar or a 2-bar, you know, be like, I just beat you, like that Gobble guy. I know he's like that a little bit. Like he'll come up with this Tommy Wiseau laugh, like, ha ha ha, you know, very funny. Yeah, it was cause of lag. I got lucky. Ha ha ha, you know. Like he, I know he does that on purpose, just because, you know, it's like, because in his mind he's like, man, he's like, I'm beating a tournament player. Ha ha ha, you know. Yeah. You know, sometimes, you know, we're all human. Sometimes I'm like, you smug son of a bitch, I'm gonna wreck you right now. Yeah. But it's like, you know, you gotta keep that part under control. I can teach you a few breathing techniques that help out. So,
right. But you told me that you would probably not teach me with characters, but teach me how to pick up characters and get them to tournament level quickly or something like that.
Yeah. I'll tell you one thing about the way I play is my playstyle. I can adapt it around every character I play, so it doesn't matter who I play. You know, I can, like, if I'm gonna help you pick up characters to where you're like, hey, I want to play Kazumi today, and you end up making her a tournament character within the same day. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, because I know for me, that. Sorry. I know for me that I have like the same pattern of, not the same pattern, but I apply the same sort of rules for movement I do for Devil Jin, and kind of like down forward 2, jab, blah blah blah, on a lot of characters with the same sort of playstyle, like a down forward 1, okay, that check, jab, check, and some sort of usable low check, you know, and
yeah.
Like, I did that for Kazumi, and she's actually a destroyer. I did that for Claudio. It was a little difficult because his down forward 1 is but I got him to.
His down forward 1 is +9 on hit.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, interesting. If you hit somebody with his down forward 1, you can screw somebody over so hard. See, learning that kind of knowledge and knowing what to do with it. It's like when I played Dragunov. If I hit somebody with 4-1, I'm not thinking about hitting them with 4-1. I'm thinking 2 steps ahead about what I'm going to do after I've done this.
Right.
Does that make sense? Because I know it's going to hit. Because I have that much certainty about what my opponent does. It's kind of like when I was playing with you with Leo. I didn't think about when I did back 2-1. I already knew what was going to happen, so I went ahead and flowcharted you to where it was inevitable for you, because I knew where your pattern was. I knew what you wanted. Does that make sense? So it's like you're going to be taught that to think 2 to 3 steps ahead, and then soon 4, then 5. You know.
Uh-huh.
So that's the way that kind of works, and that's gonna work with every character. Like when I was picking up Eddie, like it you know, he's not an easy character to pick up, saying from experience, but like knowing how stuff works immediately gives you an idea of how to play this character in a tournament level setting, and it ends up to where you actually do play that tournament level setting, just because you abuse certain things about the character that people can't handle.
Right.
You know, so
So
with all that said and done, you know that's gonna happen.
right. So what you're telling me is, like, just from general knowledge, general techniques that you're going to teach me how to do, I can take, let's
Yep.
say, randomly pick up, let's see, like a fucking Brian, which I hate to play sometimes, and just rip through ranks and go to like Usurper or something. It's just like, okay, now to actually like learn his shit.
Yep.
Because
I'm gonna give you an experience, and I'll share this with you. So I played Asuka for a day. This was a while back. This was in Tag 2. I played Asuka and Bob. I've never touched those characters. I went in practice mode with them for 2 hours. I got Asuka and Bob to, what was it? What's the... No, I should know that. It's because the icon changed. I got them to Conqueror within 4 hours? 4 hours, 3 hours, around that time. And that's only playing, what, like not even like 30 minutes to like an hour with those characters, I believe. So somewhere around there. All I know is it, in a small amount of time that I'm able to do that, like, shows you where the knowledge is at. So because I know how to play fundamentally sound, my movement is there, my punishment's there, my ideology, you know, for players' mentality is there, you know.
Yeah. Actually, I will say this though, just so you get a general, I guess, measure to where I can do that exact thing is, I've gotten a lot of characters to Vindicator just off that sort of same thing. Kind of like taking from what I know with Devil Jin or any other person I play and applying it to that character. Like I've taken, I'm completely garbage with Asuka, and I took her to Vindicator. I don't know how to play Brian, and I took him to Warrior just by doing back ones into grabs because I know that has frame advantage. I got Law to Warrior because I know that he has a strong 50-50 mix-up.
Yeah, to some extent.
You know, Dragunov though, Dragunov I might have taken a little bit further because I got him to Usurper a couple of days ago. But I do also want to, you know, have a good Dragunov. Like if I see myself going to tournaments and stuff, I want to have sort of Dragunov like in the back of my pocket as well.
Yeah, you know, I mean, that's always good to have. Again, you know, we'll get to that point. But learning these parts now will get you to that point later.
Right.
You know, that's what it's all about. Is the beginning is what teaches you how to get to your end game quicker.
Yeah.
You know. So, all right, man. I'll let you go. I feel like I'm keeping you, man. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. This is all very, I guess, exciting in a sense. Kind of like I wish I didn't have to sleep so I can like keep, you know, learning and like talking about this sort of stuff. But I should probably sleep, and I mean, I guess
I'm pretty sure you have a set schedule, man. Like if I'm keeping you up, I'm sorry, dude.
Nah. I mean, I'll message you once I'm said and done back home and ready to get online.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll go ahead and I'll shoot you my number tomorrow, so that way you can text me on my phone.
Right.
You know, say like, hey, I'm online, I'm ready. I'll be like, all right, let me jump on them. You know.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
Cause me, I get off of work, I get what, 2:33. You know, so that's like I have the rest of the day to myself because I work from 5 to like 2:30 to 3.
Yeah.
So some days I just don't even get to work because I mean it's nice. So yeah, again, I'll shoot you my number tomorrow and we'll get everything kind of settled.
Yeah.
So that way we have like a set schedule, so that way we can keep going and going and going. But all right, man, you have a good night. Sleep well and all that good stuff. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right. All right. I'll see you.
See you, man.
Uh huh.